Some years ago, I nervously pushed back from my writing desk, having realized something quite grave. I had no idea how to defuse a bomb. This had never been an issue with my writing before, but it was now, as I had finished a draft of my novel, my very first novel that I was mighty pleased with, pleased enough anyway, to show it around, and one of my sharp-eyed mentors read it, nodded this way and that, and then said two things, and I will mention the second one first. She said, "You've written a novel about a protagonist who's a bomb disposal expert in World War II. But he never defuses a bomb." "That's a problem," she said, and it was. And it was an even greater one once I tried to write such a scene without knowing the first thing about bomb disposal. So I set about to learn. And let me assure you, there are few better procrastinatory activities than learning how to defuse World War II ordnance. But also a few more frustrating activities. It took me forever to find the right book, and once I'd written the requisite bomb diffusing scene, I remained uneasy. Was this really how you diffused a bomb? I knew what you know. You can't trust books. So I got in touch with the director of the U.S. Army Ordnance Museum. There really is such a thing. Those of you who live near 95 in Maryland know. He agreed to take a look at what I'd written, and he sent a quick reply. "Looks great!" Well, like any real writer, I am suspicious of praise more than anything. So I did some Googling, and I quickly confirmed my fears. He was indeed the director of a museum devoted to bombs, but he was 28. My book was set in World War II. I needed someone who had been there, so I did some more Googling, and I found a Bomb Disposal Veterans Association. Got in touch, explained my problem, waited for a response, and then got one from the retired chief warrant officer I mentioned earlier. "I'm your guy," he said. And he was. He knew everything there was to know about bombs, including the fact that everything I had written was wrong. Because my scene was set in California, where some soldiers are tasked with defusing an American bomb that's gone astray during a training mission. What I had written about and said was a German bomb, which made sense, my source told me, because the only detailed book available to the public about World War II bomb disposal was written by an Englishman, and given Hitler's barrage, the Englishman had seen more German bombs than any other. "I'd have to cut my scene," my source told me. "Done," I said. "Now, how do you defuse an American bomb?" "I'm not at liberty to say." I begged, I pleaded, I pointed out I wasn't asking him to build one, but no. I thought. The problem was, by now I had sold the book. The scene was in there. Everyone liked the scene. I liked the scene. The chief warrant officer even liked the scene, but for the fact that it was a German bomb sitting in the middle of California. I had a brainstorm. What if the Americans were using captured German bombs, dropping them from American airplanes on training missions? So that makes no sense, he said. A German bomb in an American plane. It's going to have the wrong condensers. I asked him how to spell that. The wrong charging shackles. I wrote this down too. In fact, I wrote it all down, and I put the entire conversation into the book, into the mouths of two stateside soldiers who are arguing that it makes no sense that they're defusing a German bomb in the middle of California. But what now made sense to me is that deep in the DNA of the very best dialogue is a desire, even a need, to conceal. Oh, and the second thing my mentor said about my book, "You really like characters who talk, don't you?" I do. And today I want to talk about talking, and I don't necessarily want to tackle it the way we writers usually talk about talking, which is to discuss how. There's a wide craft literature already available on the subject of how, and it's reassuringly in complete agreement. If your characters must speak, make them sound natural, but realize how much artifice goes into achieving a natural effect. Use simple dialogue tags like "she said" and "he said," and insert those tags if necessary in the middle of the line to help secure the rhythm. Better yet, augment verbal gestures with physical ones. I argue with none of this, which is not a great way to write dialogue, but this is indeed how dialogue gets effectively rendered on the page. But as I discovered during my bomb research, how is often the least interesting question. He wouldn't tell me how to defuse an American bomb. Interesting. But what wasn't he telling me